Welcome back to Fearlocks Movie Reviews. Let me ask you something. What do you get when you have a... What do you get when you decide to make a movie that's based on a cartoon, but the cartoon is kind of like mixing in, say, the action of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the animation from Hanna-Barbera's cartoons like, say, the Flintstones, and the main characters are actually dinosaur humanoids, right? And what happens when you make that into a live-action format by the same choreography team that worked with Ninja Turtles and made human dinosaur costumes and had them fight a bunch of cavemen? Why you get the movie Dinosaurs, aka Adventures in Dinosaur City. You know what? I wanted to talk about this movie for a long time. This is actually one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. Yes. And in case you saw the title screen from earlier, that wasn't a typo, okay? I know what you're thinking. It's a typo, right? No, it's not. Here's the thing. The movie is called Dinosaurs, okay? Spelled two words, not just one word, okay? And the thing is, in this movie's world, in this movie's universe, the show is called Dinosaurs. Alright, they're actually, that stars two main characters called Rex and Tops. Rex is actually a Tyrannosaurid, and Tops is a Pseudoceratops. Although, looking at Rex's design, he doesn't look like a Tyrannosaurus, he looks more like a Torvosaurus. Just saying, or looks more like a Torvosaurus or a Megalosaurus. Just saying, he doesn't look like a T-Rex, particularly, but hey. I guess they were going off of some of the earlier designs back then, from like the old 1930s stuff. But hey, what do you gotta do, right? The movie basically follows three young kids. Well, actually, one young boy and two teen kids. Okay, a young boy by the name of Timmy, a teenage boy by the name of Mick, and of course, the geeky teenage girl, Jessie, who, well, okay, we all see where this one was going, okay? It's the classic little boy trope, the shy, tough guy trope, and the geeky, nerdy girl. Like, we haven't seen these tropes before, right? Right? Yeah, whatever. Anyway, they're actually at Timmy's house, actually mostly talking about about the TV show Dinosaurs, and they actually start to watch a movie based on it, though. Animation, not so great, okay? Even the music on the other end is actually not that bad, though, okay? It's kind of a catchy theme song for a good cartoon show from back in the day. So I can kind of see it actually being a real thing, but unfortunately the show looks like it was made up for the movie. So that's not surprising by any means. However, what about their parents? Well, all we see is Timmy's parents. And before you say anything, no, his parents are not called Mom and Dad. It's not like Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd Parents. Actually, that would have been kind of funny. If the other two teens were called Wanda and Cosmo. That would have been hilarious. Timmy's parents are not the type of parents that Timmy Turner's parents actually are. No. But they are actually scientists who are actually discovering something that really needs to be talked about because it's actually quite of a unique invention that kind of puts Wayne Szalinski's inventions to shame. Alright, I'm not saying that Wayne Szalinski was a pushover. No. I actually happen to like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I love Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Rick Moranis in that movie was freaking awesome. Same thing for the sequels that I followed up afterwards, including the last one, which he actually did put time and effort into it, though. Why? Because Rick Moranis is the man. Yeah, and he's coming back to play Dark Helmet soon. I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked. What am I saying? Anyway, Timmy's parents are actually trying to work on a device that actually would take something of an object to another dimension, or in this case, a projected dimension of some kind, of some type of unique device. It's, like I said, the device itself, it's very unique, and also, quote earlier, I may have jumped the gun on Tops' character. He's not a pseudoceratops, he's actually a protoceratops. Just a one-sided thing, so whatever. Anyway, But anyway, they actually tested the device out on an orange, which of course it does actually work, but the thing is it pops right back out, as you can plainly see here. Yes, you're not imagining it, folks. I am actually using actual video clips this time around. It's a little bit more easier for me to actually show you what's actually happening rather than actually painstakingly take all types of still images of the actual film, which is a much more bigger pain in the ass than you realize. I mean, seriously, it takes me like a day. I mean, you want to know how long it takes me to do these type of videos nowadays? I mean, I had to watch the movie and then I have to watch it again and take photo after photo after photo of stuff that I usually take hundreds of photos and I have to pick out which ones I need that are useful for the whole clip show. So please. So you know what? I decided to cut the bullshit and just show a clip imagery here. And also due to the fact I'm not actually showing any audio here. So, well, at least not yet anyway. So anyway, the device itself actually works, and they want to take it to, and they want to show some proof to it to the next scientific community. So they tell Timmy and his friends that they're going to go away for a little while and tell them to go out and play, do whatever you want. But Timmy has a better suggestion. Here's the thing: their projector screen that is used to go into the fourth dimension thing, it's a big screen TV. What type of big screen? It's one of those big ass big screen TVs you normally see from the 80s and the early 90s. You know, the ones with the big projector thing that actually looks huge and it's a huge flat screen. Yeah, the type of thing you like to play video games on back in the day from like the early 90s. Yeah, it's one of those type of things. Like the most kick-ass looking type of TV you could ever even imagine. So unfortunately, it turns the machine on and they get sucked into the world of dinosaurs. Yep. They literally get sucked in. And honestly, I would say this is now look, I would normally say this is ripping off the Super Mario Brothers movie, but fun fact, this movie came out before Super Mario Brothers. In fact, this movie was made and released in 1991. Okay? It was released in the UK in 1991. The Super Mario Brothers movie was released in 93. Jurassic Park, 93. And it's following a ton of comedy aspects from Ninja Turtles 2. And it's not making fun of Ninja Turtles 3, because Ninja Turtles 3, again, didn't come out until after this movie came out. Alright? And, yeah, you can make and also, I would say that this is kind of stupid, kind of like Warriors of Virtue was. But, again, that movie came out years after this one. So, yeah, you can make fun of it as much as you want to, but don't bother. It came out before any of this other bullshit came out. Yep. So eventually they figure out they're actually in the show Dinosaur. They're actually in the movie Dinosaurs, and guess what happens? They meet one of the main characters, Forey, with Jesse and Forey actually doing a bit of a screaming contest. And it's a good thing I muted this thing, because this whole thing goes on for a good long while until Forey passes out from exhaustion. And honestly, they're a little bit shocked to actually see that it's Forey here. And they're really surprised that, yeah, they're in Dinosaurs. But even more shocking is that when Timmy decides to look outside, guess who he sees? The main villains of the whole of the TV show. The cavemen thugs called the Rockies. Alright? And so eventually they hide, and one of the leaders of the Rockies named Link. And wait. Before I continue, no, I'm not going to make any Zelda references here, okay? His name is Link, as in the missing Link, okay? He's actually supposed to be he's actually a Neanderthal caveman, alright? And to be fair, he is played by a professional bodybuilder. And to be fair, Neanderthals are supposed to be much more naturally bigger than normal humans, so, yeah. We get to see this hot babe of a cave girl, and what's her name? It's Missy. I got nothing to say about that. I got nothing. So anyway, Link and the Rockies actually wound up finding a couple of escapees from their boss, Mr. Big. And okay, I just want to say something real quick. All right, before I continue on, there are some spots in this movie that were not actually shown in the U.S. version, or basically the Disney cut version. Let me explain. This movie was originally released in late 1991, but it wasn't released in the U.S. until April of 1992, and it was released exclusively on the Disney Channel. And from what I can find out, Disney doesn't actually own the rights to the film. All right, they owned the distributing rights, but that was years ago, and they never renewed it. So, from what I found out, so as far as I'm concerned, this movie's IP is kind of in the public domain at this point. Yeah. So yeah, some parts of this movie were actually removed to actually keep with the pacing and the show, and to lessen down the violence a little bit, though. But looking at this original cut version, Disney, you done fucked up. You done fucked up. Never ever do that again. Anyway, aside from that, Link also takes away the power source from the entire lava factory, which, if it's not put back in, it's going to leave Source City in a leave Source City in an entire lava-infested pit in less than 24 hours. Did I forget to mention this was a kids' movie and the time spring's a little screwed up? No? Okay, whatever, we're good. So, after the Rockies leave, they actually do bring it to Mr. Big, and okay, Mr. Big is now actually in this cloak thing, is dressed in a hoodie? The fuck is he, the Grim Reaper or something? Sheesh. And how does he congratulate the guy who found the dinosaur refugee? He burns him alive. Yeah, remember when I said earlier that this part actually, there were some parts that were removed from the Disney cut version? This was one of them. Seriously, Disney, you done fucked up. They should never have cut this out. For shame. For shame. Eventually, Link is now in charge of the Rockies completely, and back at the factory. The kids try to convince Forey to actually look for Rex and Tops, the main characters of the movie, so they can get the power cell back to stop the lava from overflowing. Well, here's the thing. Jesse actually suggests they go through this one area called Extinction Grove, which was never in the cartoon. Though, to be fair, looking at it now, it's actually not a bad-looking location, even for a kids' movie, though. And we see some really dark stuff here and there, and we see a Tyrannosaurus Grim Reaper statue. I'm sorry, can we see that again? Wow. Okay, you guys know all right, I'm pretty sure you guys know the bands the AI bands we have on my channel now. I mean, one of the bands is called Shadow Reaper, and they just finalized their last album, their last song recently, and now they're going to make another album. We're going to be releasing another album sooner or later after I do some collaborations with their music. But here's the thing: they have a second album that it's not on the channel yet, but here's the thing. They actually want to do a third album that's called Kaiju. That's basically called Kaiju Apocalypse. And I'm just going to say it. This is definitely something they should use for the cover, because honestly, this is one badass looking design. I mean, come on, a dinosaur Grim Reaper. Holy shit, that is like an awesome looking design. That's pure metal right there. Holy crap. Anyway, what's so scary about Extinction Grove? It's populated by a giant Titanoboa looking snake thing that's actually kind of adorable looking. Moving on! So eventually they do make their way into Tar Town, where Tops and Rex are, and what are Tops and Rex doing? Oh, they're playing poker. You know what? I would say this is stupid, but honestly, this kind of fits. Yeah, I can literally see these guys play poker, so you know what? This makes a lot of sense. So, and a big dance sequence goes on, and okay, before I go any further, everybody here knows that I actually posted this movie. Now, here's the thing. I'm actually using the copy. All the footage you're seeing is actually from the copy of the movie I actually have that I posted on my YouTube channel way back 2 Januaries ago. Yeah, so I posted that up mainly because the fact there's no copyright. Supposedly there's no copyright on the movie itself, but I mostly just did this so we can actually get this movie released on DVD and Blu-ray, just to get more public awareness on this film. Because this movie deserves a DVD and Blu-ray release, like a legitimate DVD Blu-ray release. It's a cult film. A lot of people remember it, and shockingly, a lot of people like this movie. So, yeah. Chop chop. Make a DVD and Blu-ray release of this movie. Hey. Also, the weird thing is, what I was trying to say earlier, I was getting hit by a lot of copyright. I was getting hit by a lot of copyright licenses here, and it was mostly due to the music here. So here's the thing: so when you're watching the movie on my channel, it's all non-profit. Okay, I'm not trying to profit from this at all. Okay, I'm just showing it as it is. That this movie deserves the DVD and Blu-ray release. So hopefully somebody out there will finally get the ball rolling, and we can get this movie on DVD and Blu-ray. So anyway, after this so-called dance, the kids actually finally meet up with Rex and Tops, and well, let's just say that Tops is kind of being like a complete asshole, and Rex is actually dismissive of the whole thing, saying he's actually not really interested in helping the Saurs, the Leaf Eaters from Source City. And yes, he said Leaf Eaters for a reason. Jesse basically goes all, basically just really lets in on him though. And okay, you know what? I'm not even going to dig the fuck. Okay, look, I'm not even going to try to explain what Rex's problem is. Just listen to what he has to say here, okay?
Considering the way those Leaf Eaters in Source City feel about my father, they're not going to back me in a fight against the Rockies. And I can't take all the Rockies myself.
So you're a coward too?
Makes sense to me. All right. And guess what happens later on? Another group of Rockies come in. Oh, that's just lovely. And of course, Rex and Tops are not actually having it right now. There's some back and forth banter between Rex and the main group's leader, and fist fight breaks out. And fun fact, I did not add that sound effect at all whatsoever. That Rex actually did punch him that hard. So anyway, they scream out their famous quote, "Thundering," and they start beating the crap out of everybody, the Rockies. And to be fair, this entire fight scene, it's actually very entertaining, though. All joking aside, it looks like the Rockies were actually really hitting the actors in the suits. Now, this makes sense because of the fact the suits are actually heavily padded, and of course, the suits are also made by one of the guys who actually worked with Jim Henson's Muppetries and made the Ninja Turtle costumes. So honestly, these suits are okay in my opinion. They're pretty cool, and the fight scenes here, well, the one thing the movie has here, that the movie actually is presented pretty darkly, and the fight scenes actually look pretty good. So, joking aside, this is a pretty good standard fight scene. It has some goofy moments. It has some really goofy moments, but it's mostly very entertaining. Cartoon sound effects aside, it's very enjoyable. It's very, very enjoyable. So, although at some point, Mick does destroy Jesse's glasses because he actually finds out he can actually fight in this world too. Awesome. So anyway, after the fight, this happens.
I don't believe it. I never saw such a bunch of sissies.
You know she's right, Tops. This place is a dump.
Wait a minute, Rex. You can't be thinking you're going. I got a better idea. We could make a lot of money here in Tartown.
Has it ever occurred to you there's more to life than just money?
Well, no. But what about the Rocky Patrols?
I know a secret way to Source City. Come on, guys.
So eventually the gang makes their way to Source City, and Mr. Big decides to actually fully take his cloak off, and we finally see what he looks like. He's supposedly an Allosaurus. Yeah. Here's the thing: that horn on his nose, Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus. Use your brains. Use your fucking brains. Here's another fun fact too. Rex's voice. Rex has a really cool, slick, laid-back type of voice that sounds really gruff, but sounds also like it's a strong voice, particularly. And Mr. Big's voice sounds like it's graveled and it sounds like it's full of authority. Here's the fun fact: it's the same voice actor. No, I'm not kidding. The same voice actor did both Rex and Mr. Big. And if you heard his voice before, he was also Flash Thompson in Spider-Man, the animated series from the 1990s. Shit. Anyway, the game makes their way to Source City, and we see a lovely little light show with, to be fair, it's actually pretty, like, a cool lighthouse type thing, you know. The actually crazy thing is, I think I could see this type of thing being in a high school teen's backyard for a house party. I mean, seriously, that's a pretty cool design. All joking aside, I'm just saying. I grew up in the '90s, and if I saw a backyard that had that design, dude, I wouldn't want to leave at all. So eventually, the kids actually wound up telling the guys where they're from. And at some point, Mick doesn't want to actually continue talking. Jesse wants to talk to him. And Rex actually decides to go actually be on guard for the Rockies, just in case. But we get to see two dynamics here. We see the fact that, okay, Mick and Jess actually confess their love for each other, for one thing. And we see that we actually find out why... we actually find out a bit more about Rex's backstory. It turns out his backstory is a lot more depressing, in a sense. For the fact that his father was actually considered a traitor to the people. So Rex actually takes... Timmy asks more questions about those. So rather than just tell Timmy, he actually he takes Timmy to Skull Island. And yeah, I'm not going to make any King Kong references here. Because, seriously, with Godzilla X Kong, the Supernova coming out, I think there's enough Kong stuff to worry about later on, especially with Godzilla being in the same routine, too. So eventually, Rex tells him everything, that there was a great war between the Allosauruses and the Tyrannosaurs, and his father, King, actually was the grand victor, but Mr. Big was the last one who survived. And, you know what? Just listen to Rex here.
This place was once the center of Source City, where the people built monuments to their greatest leaders.
Traitor?
I was barely out of my egg when my father fought the battle that freed us from the Allosauruses. And the people of Source City presented him with the key to the city gates. But one Allosaurus survived, Mr. Big. He attacked again, and my father made a deal with him. He turned over Source City right in front of the city gates, and they left this key lying in the dirt.
But what's so important about the dumb tower?
Nobody knows for sure. All I know is this is the last good thing left of my father. You see, Timmy, this world's not so perfect.
So, Rex's father just gave Mr. Big the key to the city and just handed the Source City over to him. That makes no sense, but whatever. Anyway, speaking of Mr. Big, he's actually on his way over right now with the Rockies laughing his ass off. Why? Because he's evil. Do you even need a reason why at this point? Eventually, Rex gets Timmy back to the tree, gets back to Source City, and a huge fight breaks out between the Rockies and Rex, and then Tops joins the fight. And we get another pretty decent fight scene that's more on par with Ninja Turtle style comedy here. But here's something that doesn't make it. But here's something that Timmy should have probably noticed earlier. His remote control actually can freeze and reverse the Rockies. So the remote control he took from the lab earlier can work in the dimension as well. Okay, that is so freaking weird. And to make matters worse, Mr. Big is actually watching it, and he tells Link that he wants that device. Not good. Not good at all, my friends. Not good. So eventually Rex and Tops actually beat the shit after beating the crap out of all the Rockies. They actually go after the Rockies, make sure they keep them away. Eventually, Link actually kidnaps Timmy. Kidnaps Timmy and takes the remote and gives it to Big. So, okay, he actually doesn't really give it to him, though. So, anyway, eventually Mickey and the others actually discover that Timmy is now missing, and he notices that the remote is also taken, too. So, and, of course, Mick tells everybody that the remote actually was doing something to everybody that actually has a lot of abilities. It can pause people, reverse people, flash forward people. So yeah, it basically works like a standard remote, except it's in real time here, because they're in the fourth dimension, and they have a device that actually can actually, forget it. This is just too crazy to begin with. So eventually they do wind up, so they actually make their way to Mr. Big's tower, and they make their way down to the cellar. Hopefully Timmy is down there so they can get him out of there. To get him out of there. But instead of Timmy, we see King is down there. That's right. Rex's father is down there. And, okay, you know what? Rather than just explaining King's actions, just listen to this.
How ironic. My father was a traitor in a prison of his own making.
I know this will be hard for you to accept, Rex, but please hear me out. Big allied with the forces of the Rockies, and he had a potion that could bend anyone to his will.
You were drugged?
And forced to hand Saurs City over. The only thing that's kept me going all these years is thinking of you, Rex.
Mr. Big has a drug to actually mind control people and to make them do whatever they want and make them do whatever he wants. Okay? So, okay, that's something unique. So, in a sense, we now know for a fact that King was never really a traitor. He was just used by Mr. Big and just left down in the cellar to rot. Man, Mr. Big is an asshole. My God, what an asshole. You know what? I know for a fact that Joe is now back on probation again, but when the show comes back, he needs to put Mr. Big on the A-list. Just saying. So eventually, Tops stays down. Actually, stays down down the jail cell to actually really get all the hostages out. So while Rex, Mick, and Jesse go up, but King actually needs to go further down to the cellar to actually release the magma pressure point to actually destroy the whole building. All right, this is basically his form of complete redemption. So I'm not gonna fully go into this thing. But I'm just gonna say this is his form of redemption. So just let it go. Just let it go. It's his he's a former hero. This is his form of redemption. Just let him have it. Okay? So eventually they do make their way out to the top floor where Mr. Big is, and he's holding Timmy over a fire pit. Did I forget to mention he was an asshole? So what happens then? Rex just tackles Mr. Big, and a huge fight breaks out between Rex, Mr. Big, and the Rockies. Rex actually, Mr. Big eventually dropped the damn remote at some point, and Jesse and Missy are fighting over the remote while Mick is holding Timmy up over the fire pit, and Shorty, yeah, that's the guy's name, the little small caveman that Mr. Big keeps around. Yeah, he starts actually hitting Mick, trying to get him to drop Timmy. So eventually, Tops makes his way up there, makes his way to the top, and actually he tackles Timmy off the damn thing, off the fire pit. Thank God. After he's safe, Tops actually goes to help Rex. And Rex and Tops, they wipe the floor with everybody. The Rockies get their asses handed to them. Link gets knocked the fuck out by Tops. And Rex just beats the living shit out of Mr. Big, punching him across the room. And you know what? Considering the fact what Mr. Big had done to him, that's justifiable. Seriously, I am not going to complain. Just seeing Rex just beat the living crap out of Mr. Big, it's very justifiable, and it's really good to see him beat the shit out of him. That is until Mr. Big actually decides to cheat and gets a sword. Eventually, Mick actually gives Timmy the remote. Gives Timmy the batteries to the remote. Timmy gets the remote from Missy and Jesse. Puts the batteries in and actually zaps Mr. Big out of existence. What he did to Mr. Big, I have no idea. And honestly, Missy is more than happy to see him gone. So we actually find out that Missy was actually on their side the whole time because, well, to be fair, she was treated like shit. So, well, let me see. She's basically a sexy blonde bimbo. She's basically the archetype of the sexy blonde bimbo type, and she has like the somewhat Jersey girl accent, so-called Jersey girl accent. Yeah, I can see why she was mistreated. Yeah, joking aside, she was completely mistreated. So, anyway, Forey basically. Forey actually wants to tell them they find the power source, the power cell. Before he tells them that they actually can't escape if he takes it out. So his idea is for them to get out of the building first, and he unplugs it. So anyway, they all agree to. So anyway, the gang agrees to let Forey do his thing, and well, this actually winds up happening.
Good luck, handsome.
Hubba.
Happy landing.
What are you doing with that?
Evolving. That's one giant leap for womankind. Help that elevator.
You know, I know this movie tends to use sound effects, but hearing that wax sound, okay, that was fucking hilarious. Oh yeah, that was just that was beautiful. That was just beautiful. Now, eventually, the gang make their way out. Missy joins the gang, and they eventually make their way out, and they actually make their way out. Forey actually disconnects the power cell, leaving Link and the other Rockies stuck in the damn elevator. And Forey, anyway, the whole stick with Forey was he couldn't actually fly because he suffered an injury a couple of years back. So he decides to man up and actually decides to fly. Yeah, so he falls and he flies his way all the way back to the lava factory. Good for him. Rex actually wanted to originally stay and actually make sure his father was safe, but Mickey and the others convince him it's better if they just go. All right, it's King's time for redemption. Just let him do this, okay? So eventually, King actually winds up removing the slab, and as the pressure builds up, the whole building is going to go up. Sure, he'll be fine, and never mind. He's dead. Holy shit! Wow. Okay. Never mind. So, okay, they make their way back to the factory, where, of course, they do give Rex some forms of encouragement. Thank God. So eventually they deal with the last Rocky, and Forey actually wants to puts the power cell back on to turn the factory back on, but the doorway from earlier just wouldn't turn on. But then they realize, oh, wait a minute, it's the remote. So the kids can wind up going back, but Timmy's been thinking about staying for a long time. I've been thinking about staying for a while, but honestly, Rex gave him some good advice earlier saying that it's not exactly a good idea for him to stay, that he's better off staying in their world, staying off in his world. So eventually the kids make their way back. Wow, the kids are finally back. That's good news. And what the hell? Okay, that's funny. That is funny. See what happened to Mr. Pig? He's down in hell getting roasted. Well, I'm assuming he's down in hell. That's what it looks like to me. Yep. Good enough for me. So eventually the parents actually wound up coming back, and the conference didn't go their way. They thought it was just some stupid thing to make some orange juice. However, Timmy and the kids actually decide to take them to the lab and show them exactly what happened. And the machine, all we hear is the machine turn on and the credits start rolling. And that was the movie Dinosaurs, aka Adventures in Dinosaur City. It's like I said before, this is one of my personal favorite movies when I was a kid, and watching it again as an adult hits me right here. It was good seeing this movie again after all these years. The uncut version this time, the whole goddamn movie. And you know what? I still like this movie to this day. It's silly, it's goofy. Honestly, I really do like this movie. Also, here's a bit of and also, to be fair, this movie became a massive cult hit film as time went on. Even though it was panned by critics when it was released, it became a cult hit as time went on. So it's one of those huge cult hit films that people want to actually get a DVD and Blu-ray release. Hey, it might actually happen sooner or later. All right? Also, a bit of a fun fact. If you ever played the game Fortnite, one of the packaged DLC deals that you actually wound up getting, it was this Lizardman. It actually was this Lizardman character, and yeah, this skin color was called Thunderin. I wonder where that came from. I mean, just look at his jacket and look at the way he's designed. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. I mean, to me, clearly he looks like Rex, and okay, seriously, I love the character Rex and all, but how is he considered the Tyrannosaurus Rex? He only has like 3 fingers and really long, jacked up arms. Like, he's built like a linebacker. I mean, hold on a second. Yo, Ferox Rex! Hey, Ferox, wake up! What? Oh, okay, Frank, can I help you with something? We got a huge question for you, man. Why is it that you and Rex from this movie actually look almost identical to each other? What? So you 2 humanoid dinosaur humanoids or something, or what's the deal going on there or something? And are you even related to Tyrannosaurus? Rex from Dinosaur City. Hey, wait a minute. First off, he is a dinosaur, also known as a saurian. I'm a dinozoid. Dinozoid. Big difference. A what? A dino what? I'm a dinozoid. You know, from Turok. You know, the Turok series? That's what I am. I am a dinozoid. Alright, I'm a dinosaur-human hybrid, okay? And also, bit of a fun fact here. Did you forget about Tryptosaurus, the T-Rex cousin? You're a dinosaur from the Turok series. A dinosaur from the Turok series. Okay, that makes more sense. Gyptosaurus? I mean, what's that? Oh. Yeah, that's a Tyrannosaur cousin, and it actually had long arms. My mistake. So yeah, Rex could have been related to that. And Wait a minute, Tommy, are you saying you're related to that thing too?
Yes, I am a Dinosaurus relative, for Christ's sake. I mean, yeah, I'm completely related to that thing, alright? And I'm pretty sure Rex is probably related to it as well. Also, can I please go back to doing some video games? You know, because even though like Joe's been on probation lately and we had some troubles here on the website for a while, can I please go back to doing some video games?
What games are you thinking about doing exactly?
Can I do Resident Evil again?
No. Okay, look, okay, one, Resident Evil, Requiem just came out a while ago. People are still going over it like crazy, and I'm not buying the game anytime soon until the price goes down. Alright, GTA 6 is finally just went on pre-order, so, you want to play Resident Evil, huh? Well, you're not going back to 8 anytime soon, so, I got it. Play the original ones.
The original ones? Are you serious right now? The original ones? Dude, what? You want me to play 1, 2, and 3, the original PlayStation ones? How am I going to do that exactly? We don't have capture card technology to actually play them off of the PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, dude, hello, we have Resident Evil Director's Cut, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis on the PS5. The original PS1 version, you can play all three of those games.
Really? I can play all of them? Alright, it's a Resident Evil summer! Thunderin'!
Thunderin'. Yeah. Yep. That's all I need to say about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and sorry for such a long delay. But hey, I finally used clips in my movie reviews. Anyway, this is Ferox Frank signing out. Y'all take care.